Unlike most AAA games that just stick to what works, Inscryption takes risks time and time again to ensure that things remain fresh, and the sheer amount of love and creativity on display will often leave people just wishing they had a little bit more. So as such, fans of this title will be more than happy to check out the games on this list that scratch that same itch. A standalone and fleshed out version of the minigame found in The Witcher 3, Gwent lets players compete against others in fun battles where strategy is the key to victory. Official support for this title is no more, but players can still jump into this title and enjoy some fun card battles with other people as they reacquaint themselves to the rules of the game. The Hex is definitely worth checking out if players are fans of Inscryption's developer Daniel Mullins. This mystery adventure takes place at a tavern where 6 characters, all of whom used to live lives as video game protagonists, are being investigated for possibly planning the murder of one of their fellow patrons. Players are tasked with learning about each of these characters by reliving elements of their past, therefore exploring the genre that they came from, with the end goal of figuring out who the murderer is. Inscryption is one of the best indie card games to come out in 2021. But the year prior, in 2020, one of the best card games to come out was Monster Train. The main campaign revolves around players trying to climb 4 levels of a train full of monsters, and try to get to the top to protect the pyre from enemies that want to break it. While Inscryption definitely focused on the card game element the most, there's also the fascinating escape room element to it. So for those looking for other great escape room-esque puzzle games, will love the Room series. Each entry in the franchise has its own plot, in which players are trying to solve the mystery after being given a contraption that they need to tinker with and use to find clues to unlock the way forward. While Inscryption only has players controlling one character at a time, Trials of Fire is a more tactical game that involves controlling 3 heroes in a deck-based roguelite. Each hero has their own deck, so it creates unique opportunities to strategize specific outcomes. Haunbarian combines the thrills of a roguelike dungeon crawler with the classic strategy board game Chess. Players can move their figure around the board depending on what cards they decide to pull, with each card representing a chess piece that has a specific moveset. Take out all enemies on the board, and you advance to the next level. Marvel Snap took one of the most popular properties out there and turned it into an incredibly fun and addicting card game for mobile and PC. The gameplay loop involves having a deck of 12 cards and using those in a battle. But unlike other card games, Marvel Snap is relatively short, with battles lasting around 6 rounds and averaging less than 10 minutes. In Griftlands, while fighting is still an option, every encounter asks players to think about whether or not they can negotiate with their aggressor. There are 3 playable characters in the game, each with their own story and setting, plus their own combat and negotiation decks. Dicey Dungeons, a deck-building roguelite about characters that have been turned into dice, forces players to complete dungeons to be freed. Each dungeon requires every layer to be completed until they reach the bottom, where you'd fight a boss to escape. And lastly is Slay the Spire, a deck-building roguelite that blew everything out of the water when it came out. Players choose from a set of 4 different characters, each with a set of starter cards, and use them to climb the spire and make it to the top without dying. And that's it for our list. Thank you so much for watching, and go to GameRant.com for more like this.